Subscribe to my sister's channel. She will also voice her favorite plots. Let's give her a big asset. Author, let's go. Let's start with the fact that Hatake Kakashi married Mina Uchiha. After they got married they had a child named Naruto Hatake, so the parents wanted to call him. And on the 10th of October, Mina Uchiha gave birth, and on that day the nine-tailed fox demon Kyubi no Yoko escaped. It happened so that Kushina and Minato were outside the village and Kushina gave birth to her child named Menma. Then a masked man appeared and prevented childbirth and he grabbed the child and threw kunai at him. Minato saved his son Menma, but when he removed Menma to a safe place, he teleported to Kushina and then the current 4th Hokage Minato Namikaze saved Kushina by teleporting him to Menma. And the masked man, when he freed the Kubi, began to fight with Minato and their battle ended with Minato throwing a kunai with the mark of the thunder god at the masked man and kunai passed through him and he teleported while forming a Rasengan in his left hand. When Minato teleported, he hit this stranger with a Rasengan and a very strong blow imprinted it into the ground and the stranger disappeared saying you're still sorry. The fox brawled and killed a lot of people and destroyed 1/4 Konoha, one of the 5 great villages, and also killed 2/12 people and shinobi together. Kakashi Hatake Captain Anbu with the 3rd Hokage arrived to Minato's aid and they began to hold the fox. Minato was preparing the seal of the 8 trigrams for sealing the fox at that time, and then he asked, who should the Kubi be baked into? At the same time, Minato said that his son would not be suitable since he is 90% Namikaze. Kakashi said that his son would do as he was sure. Minato said well and Kakashi Shunshin moved his son while his wife was sleeping and he knew that he would be fucked for allowing Kyubi to be sealed into her son. And so Minato called the altar and put Naruto on it and folded 80 seals, and of course with an error, since he created this seal and used it for the first time. Kyubi was angry that he was being sealed a lot, and even in a kid. Kyubi didn't have time to do anything and was absorbed in printing 8 trigrams. And because Minato made a mistake in the seal, in addition to Kyubi, Jashin himself was sealed in Naruto that Naruto betrayed immortality. And because of Kubi, Naruto's chakra has become very dense. According to the author, why Naruto will be like the Joker crazy do you think? Yes, because Jashin merged with Naruto and they are one. Only Naruto absorbed Jashin and he became the new god of immortality. And the emotions were also transmitted from Jashin. The end of the author's POF. Naruto lying on the altar changed a lot, his face became more aristocratic, he had 3 stripes on each cheek, hair like Kakashi's, only they were sharper and smoother. But they were better than Kakashi's and they did not know what gravity was. Naruto's eyes became bright red like bright blood, which you could tell they were glowing in the dark. Kakashi hoped very much that Naruto would not be taken away from him since he was the heir of the Hatake clan. Digression: the Hatake clan specialized in the elements of lightning and speed, as well as maneuverability, and more than the average chakra, almost like Uzumaki's, only 20% less. The end of the retreat. Minato gave his son to Kakashi and told him to go to the Kage residence, while Minato went to convene the council of clans in the meantime. Kakashi also guessed that it would be mainly about Naruto and he would not have given it up for nothing. And an hour later, the heads of clans and elders of the village were in the meeting room, and also were without the Hokage, and when everyone gathered, Minato said, since all of you have come, we must decide what will happen to the Jinchuriki of Kakashi's son. Many clan heads shouted all in different ways. Minato said, quiet. There's a meeting going on here, not a farce that you've arranged here. He said in a cool and steely voice. Everyone shut up and waited for what else the Hokage would say. Minato said, we will vote, who for the fact that Naruto remained in the Kakashi family raised his hand, and who for Naruto to be given to a shelter and put a lot of bookmarks on the loyalty of the village, Moronism, stupidity, low intelligence. Almost all the heads raised their hands for Naruto to stay in the Hatake Kakashi family except for the Hyuga clan, and elders Himura and Koharu, and Danzo and Hiruzen were for Naruto to live with his family. And we decided in the end that Naruto would remain in the family, while he should enroll in any unit of the ANBU. Kakashi agreed, although he was against it. He wanted Naruto to go where he wanted on his way, but he couldn't do anything. All the heads of the clans dispersed and Hatake went home while taking his wife. This is how the story of the immortal King Naruto begins. Or the immortal Joker Naruto, but here I think the immortal King Naruto is more suitable. And now 1 year has passed. Naruto already knew how to walk. Everyone was in shock, but all the villagers hated him because all the villagers already knew who the Jinchuriki were and hated him for allegedly killing many people, because everyone's own person, daughter, son, father, mother, relatives died, etc. But his father and mother were proud of him because Kakashi knew that he was a genius, that being able to walk and talk a little at 1 year already speaks of his genius. Naruto saw the residents in their eyes contempt for him and hatred. Kakashi resigned from the post of ANBU and told Hokage that he would teach his son. He was not against it. After another year, Naruto was already walking, running, talking, and able to write, and Kakashi finally realized that he was a genius, and the residents began to fear him even more. Naruto was followed by ANBU who were sleeping and lounging in brothels and bars. Kakashi was angry that he was being poorly watched, but he couldn't do anything because the Hokage didn't care what happened to him, because he was a weapon. Kakashi was disappointed in Sensei and pulled away from him. Minato didn't know what had happened, but he didn't bother his student. And so Naruto runs home from the library, but not Fate, because the drunken Chunins and Jonin got caught. Naruto stumbled over Jonin and Naruto said, "Excuse me, Posa." Naruto did not have time to finish as Jonin said, "Oh, this is our demonic, let's kill him." By the way, the Chunins agreed and dragged our GG into the alley. The main one of them, Jonin, started kicking him, and the Chunins beat him with their hands. Naruto asked in tears, crying, "For what? What have I done to you? Please don't hit me." Naruto begged, but they did not listen to him, but only began to beat him harder. And so they took kunai and decided to test their accuracy. I'll tell you so, Naruto was lucky that they threw cold weapons together, because 4 kunai hit each other. Naruto would have survived since he was immortal, and Kakashi would have thrown away his skates from shock, and the 5th walked across his eye leaving a scar like Kakashi. A scar would have remained because he had not yet awakened the chakra, and that's it, the scars would remain, but everything would heal. Anbu watched this and laughed while not forgetting to drink sake. Kakashi was sitting at home with Mina, Uchiha Hatake, and they were worried about where Naruto was, and Kakashi decided to look for him. And so Kakashi hears the screams and ran into the alley. He was horrified and went into shock, because drunken jerks threw kunai and shurikens at his son, and Anbu drank sake on a branch of a large tree and did not notice Kakashi, and calmly continued to drink. Naruto was covered in blood, and suddenly a fireball flew at Naruto, which sent a drunken Jonin to Naruto, and Kakashi was in a strong shock that he couldn't do anything, and suddenly Naruto had a VMSH, Eternal Manjaku Sharingan, burning in his eyes, and along with this he awakened a powerful center of chakra. Eternal because Naruto had strong genes and he had a lot of chakras that widened the vessels in his eyes, and he could not go blind. According to the author, do you think why Naruto almost died? Because he is immortal. I will tell you that he does not know about it and thinks that he will die, even though it is not so. Naruto will have to get used to the pain and become one with the pain. The end of the author's POF. Naruto summoned Susanoo of the first stage of the 6 possible stages. Naruto began to kill everyone by crushing them with the bones of a white Susanoo with red patterns, all colors combined with his eyes and hair. It was beautiful, but when Naruto killed everyone, Kakashi came to his senses and picked up Naruto, who began to fall, and took him to the hospital. But when he came, the doctor saw the demon and said, "I will not treat him." Kakashi said, if you do not treat him then I will kill you." The doctor was scared because he knew who was standing in front of him and did not try Chidori on his skin. The doctor said, "Well, everything will be done, and you wait here for now." He finished with a tremor in his voice. And when the doctor examined Naruto, he came out. And he said, "Once again, only I will see you here." They thought he was just knocked out because of the loss of the chakra, and so he is more alive than all the living. Kakashi released ki that the doctor ran away. Kakashi followed Naruto and took him home. When Naruto woke up, he opened his red eyes that were looking into the shower and saw his mother and his father next to him. Naruto looked at them with lifeless eyes, because after such a shock he lost all emotions and became a doll. Immortality will not help here, because the child's psyche was destroyed, and only crazy and emotionless emotions remained. Kakashi saw Naruto's look, like his mom. They were shocked and they shuddered. Such a look can be if you lose all your loved ones after the war. Naruto asked, "Where am I?" Kakashi said, "You are at home and now I will train you from the age of 3. Naruto just nodded and went to bed. Naruto found himself in the subconscious and saw a cage with a kanji seal and a lot of water, and someone else's presence. The stranger said, "Are you my jailer, baby? Come here to me, you'll be fine." Naruto came up, and the fox came out in all its glory and pierced him through. The fox was shocked because Naruto didn't die, but just stepped back and said, "I have an empty heart, I don't have it, I'm just a bunch of hatred." Kyubi, to put it mildly, and said, "You're a young man." Naruto then asked, "Will you tell me your name and be my friend?" Kyubi agreed and said only if Naruto removes the seal. Naruto just jumped and broke the seal and the fox got out and he said, "My name is Kurama, remember it and yes I will be your friend." Naruto began to cry, because in addition to the parents who love him, Naruto had his first friend. Kurama could read minds and he was not mistaken. This child will either destroy this world or keep him in fear, but this will manifest the world. And suddenly Kurama remembered something. Hagoromo said if the child of prophecy does not cope with this, then I will destroy the world for him, because he is rotten. He hoped that someone would be born who would rule this world, and he would retire. And so Naruto asked, how to get out of the subconscious. Kurama came to his senses and said, "Just want it." Naruto said, "Okay Kurama-san." Kurama said, "Let's go without suffixes because we're just friends." Naruto was delighted and cried. Kurama only said, "Go let me sleep." And I threw it out of my subconscious. According to the author, Naruto can show emotions only in the subconscious, because the subconscious is his world and he can do whatever he wants there. The end of the author's POF. Naruto realized that he had lost emotions, he could not even smile or rejoice, and he realized that he had lost emotions and could only show them in his subconscious since this was his own world, and Naruto then decided to change his subconscious next time because he thought his friend Tama was not comfortable sitting in the water. Naruto woke up in the morning and went to the subconscious. Naruto said to the fox, "Hi, how are you?" The fox replied, "Well, why did you come?" Did he ask? Naruto replied, "You'll see now." Naruto sat in the lotus position and began to imagine a blue sky with white clouds, a river, a waterfall, tall trees 1 kilometer high and even more, a clearing and a lake. The fox was shocked by this and made sure in his thoughts that he was a child of prophecy. Kurama thanked his Jinchuriki. Naruto said, "Call a friend if anything." Naruto smiled only in his subconscious and left. And when Naruto turned 3 years old, Poop said, "From the 11th of October we will start training, but for now rest." Naruto was overjoyed and went to celebrate the joy in the Ramanea, but it was not there. Minapo came to Naruto and said, "Let's go have breakfast, then go for a walk, come home at 8 o'clock in the evening." Naruto nodded and realized that the road to Ramanea was closed. Naruto went to the bathroom and undressed, then started taking a cold shower. And so Naruto, when he accepted all the water procedures, he began to change clothes. He wore black shinobi pants, black shinobi sandals, a black t-shirt with the Hatake and Uchiha sign. Naruto put his hair with his favorite shampoo, because of which he almost killed his father because he used it then. Hatake knew that the shampoo was very expensive and did not want to spend money on it, but he had to. And now Naruto has white hair like Hatake and red eyes like blood. Any shinobi would be scared of it, as if death itself had come to them. Naruto got out of the shower before that, he brushed his teeth and went to eat, and so everyone gathered at the table and started eating scrambled eggs with bacon, but first they said itadakimasu and started eating. When Naruto ate, he went for a walk and went to the head first. When he arrived, he stayed there until the evening and went home. It was already 18 o'clock, he walked slowly to arrive at exactly 8 o'clock. And so Naruto noticed a girl older than that. She was 3 years older than him. She was dragged into an alley by drunken chunins and wanted to rape her, as Naruto understood from the first chunin. Naruto thought in his mind that this village was already rotting with everything. Naruto went into the alley and with the help of Kurama, who suggested how to use the eyes, and Naruto poured chakra into them and activated the VMSH. Naruto tried to form a Susanoo of the first stage and a white skeleton with red patterns was formed. Naruto took the first shinobi and grabbed and squeezed him, so it was with the others. He did it and he killed them all. The girl was shocked when she saw a boy 3 years younger than him and he stood up for her. She saw his ruthlessness that killed 3 chunins. Anbu were shocked and began to report to the Hokage. Naruto left without saying anything before he said his name to Naruto Hatake Uchiha. The girl was taken home by Anbu, and Naruto himself reached and entered the house. He did not see anyone and wanted to go to bed, but they began to congratulate him. There was a family of Hokage, Uchiha, Uzumaki. They all congratulated him on his birthday, and Naruto was not happy to see strangers, and said thank you. Without emotion, everyone was surprised, and Hatake said in Sensei's ear, "It's all your fault," and left him. Minato was upset and began to hate his son more because he lost his student because of this boy. Naruto saw the girl and the girl was scared of him. Fugaku noticed and asked, "What happened?" A girl named Itachi, that was her name, said, "This boy saved me from drunken chunins, but killed them cruelly." Fugaku was surprised and said, "Go play with the others." Itachi said, "Okay." And Naruto told me to sleep. Everyone was surprised because the birthday is in his honor. Menma went to the kitchen to drink juice, but saw the demon and said loudly, "The demon. I'll kill you." No one had time to say anything as Menma took a knife and pierced through Naruto. Kakashi O.L. Mina started crying and came up to Kakashi crying into his back. Kakashi said, "Hokage-sama, you are now the enemy of our family. I don't want to see you at home anymore." Our turd said loudly with hatred. Minato was upset. Naruto said, "I don't have a heart, I'm immortal, you can't kill me. And where you stuck the knife there is nothing there." Naruto said with a crazy smile. Kakashi noticed and was glad at the same time, hugged him and said, "Son, you're alive." Mina did the same. Kakashi said, "Hokage, leave my house." Minato disappeared to Hiraishin with his family. Everyone was in shock, and Naruto went to his room and went to bed. And so in the morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, Naruto's father woke up and said, "Go to landfill number 13, because it was abandoned." Naruto didn't want to get up after a while, took water procedures, went to eat porridge that his mother cooked, and then they went to the landfill. Kakashi began to explain as follows: until the age of 6, there will be a physical preparation, taijutsu, which style we will come up with for you, kenjutsu, too, we will come up with a style for it. Naruto took a shit and said okay. Kakashi added, first we will study shadow clones for a quick workout. Naruto nodded. They began to study shadow clones, and after half an hour he created the perfect clone, and Kakashi made sure that Naruto was a genius. And so Naruto folded the seal using the Kyuubi chakra crosswise and created 1,000 shadow clones. Kakashi O.L. His jaw flew all over the world. Anbu watched who fell from a branch to the ground in the bottom head. Kakashi asked who was still in shock, "Are you okay?" Naruto said, "Yes, let's train." They distributed the clones. And each clone did its own thing, and this is 300 clones developed taijutsu under the command of Kakashi, 300 more clones practiced kenjutsu with a shadow clone of Kakashi because it was necessary to develop their own Naruto style, 100 clones for bokujutsu, 100 more clones for reading all the books in Konoha libraries, and 199 clones for expanding the chakra hearth while strengthening it. And Naruto himself took up physics preparation, because Kakashi said, laughing maliciously, "You will be doing physical exercises. Develop yourself and every day increasing everything by 5 times and add 1 kilogram to the comforters when the exercises become easy to perform." And so Naruto performed 10 laps at the training ground, which was a standard 5 by 5 kilometers, push-ups 20 times, press 50 times, pull-ups 15 times. And all this was from 6 approaches a day. This lasted until the age of 7. Naruto reached the hard way. He trained 24/7 while only eating and washing. Kakashi felt sorry for Naruto as well as Mina, but they knew that it was necessary, and Naruto needed to become stronger, and if he didn't want to become a shinobi, then Naruto would have put a bunch of bookmarks, so Kakashi was lucky. Naruto had to train for 4 years, fast, but not useless. And Naruto hadn't slept for 4 years, and he had dark purple circles under his eyes like Indra's. No one knew about it, not even the Hokage. The Itachi family's relationship was strained with the former sensei. And Naruto was training. And now Naruto turned 7 years old. Naruto came home and said, "Hello everyone." Kakashi, when he saw Naruto, was delighted, and Mina was also delighted and went to hug Naruto while hitting him with a pan, cast iron. It hurt so much. Naruto hugged them in response and asked Mom, "Well, for what, Mom?" And the world of conscription was not bad. 8 years have passed there, and 4 years have passed here. Flashback, Naruto was training and Kakashi asked, "Would you like to go to the world of summoning?" Naruto replied, "Okay, but what seals do you need to fold in order to get into the world of summoning? And I also want a free draft." Kakashi said, "Fold these seals, and knock on the ground while putting the chakra." Naruto said, "Okay, father." And Naruto folded the seals and found himself in the world of summoning. There were shadows everywhere, red-hot lava, a palace. The place was creepy. If Naruto had emotions, he would have been scared, but not in this case. Suddenly Satan suddenly appeared and asked, "How did you get here, mortal?" He said in an angry voice. Naruto replied, "I folded the summoning seals and ended up here." Satan only thought and realized that he was a child from the prophecy that he would subdue or destroy this world. Not hell, but earth. Satan said, "You're in hell, follow me to my castle, I'll give you a summoning scroll and you'll study here for 8 years. Naruto said, "But I don't have that much time." Naruto said calmly in a steely voice. Satan replied, "Here 2 years are equal to 1 year in your world." Naruto said, "Okay." And so they went to the castle. Satan sat on the throne and gave Naruto a scroll with an appeal. Naruto read books and knew how to sign contracts. Naruto bit off his finger and signed with blood. Satan laughed because Naruto was stupid. Satan said, "Bite, not bite." Naruto's finger instantly healed. Satan saw this and realized that he was immortal and it would be better this way. Naruto noticed the painting of Indra Otsutsuki and Naruto asked, Who is he? Satan answered with a voice from beyond the grave, this is the son of Hagoromo Utsuki, or the sage of the 6 ways as you called him. Naruto understood and asked, when will I train? Satan said, yes, right now. Albedo. Come here. And bring Ains. Naruto didn't understand and decided to wait, and in a minute they arrived. Satan himself told them to train him for 8 years. Ains agreed, it's not good for him to refuse his father. Naruto didn't even raise an eyebrow when he saw Ains. Satan said, let him learn from the guards on all 9 floors in turn, starting from the first. Also take him to Zeldrix, let him make him demonic emotions like mine approximately. Naruto just bowed and they left to train. And now 8 years have passed and Naruto's training has ended. Naruto had a spontaneous summoning of all 5 elements. Naruto studied all 5 elements in the time barrier. 100 years in the barrier equals 1 year in the world of conscription. Naruto had the demon genome, and this is desiccation. The world's strongest genome is like Satan's. Satan praised him then. After all, this is the strongest genome. When Naruto said goodbye, everyone gave him a gift, but in the end they got a joint gift. Naruto was given 2 scythes of death. When scratched, they dry a person to death and anyone at the request of the owner. Also, this weapon could only be touched by Naruto, or else the person will dry up until he releases this weapon. Naruto accepted the scythes of death. One big braid is like Haiden fucking a stoned virgin, but cooler, the other is smaller, but like Madara only has a demonic braid. They gave me a lot of clothes. Very high quality and very expensive, which was only in hell. They also gave a half-face mask like Kakashi's, only with red patterns and white color. He was insanely handsome and strong. And when Naruto said goodbye, he shed a stingy tear, because Naruto restored emotions like their master. But Naruto still had a call, you will find out when he starts calling. And so Naruto folded the seals and disappeared, saying goodbye to everyone. They said that Naruto would come more often. Naruto nodded and disappeared in a peal of fiery white lightning. The end of the flashback. Here Naruto appeared from 1 kilometer to Konoha. Naruto decided to go quietly. Naruto began to approach the village and he saw that there were 50 Anbu Hokage and Anbu root. With the splash of the chakra was huge and powerful that already Madara was nervously smoking on the sidelines, smoking 1,000th cigar. Naruto lowered her chakra like Madara Uchiha's, so that only the chakras would not kill everyone. Naruto approaches Konoha in which he grew up. Hokage personally asked his name, and Anbu and old man Danzo were hiding in the trees. Naruto saw everyone. Naruto introduced himself, I am Naruto Hatake Uchiha. I am 808 years old if you count with the draft. Hokage ol and with a tremor in his voice said, I'm sorry Naruto for your birthday. Hokage bowed his head in front of him. Naruto said, okay Hokage-sama. And he went on, and Danzo wanted to check Naruto and sent all reinforcements to Naruto in the amount of 100 subordinates of Anbu root, while Naruto appeared beautifully near the village and said in a demonic grinning voice, let's dance kids and yes, do you want clones or kill immediately? Otherwise I'm too lazy to fight. According to the author, yes, it will be fun now, only in the next chapter, Dials Dunov and I will write a new part. I welcome criticism in a mild form. Also come up with a name for the appeal of RG. The end of the author's POF. And so Naruto began to fight with 100 Anbu root. Naruto immediately approached one Anbu and grabbed him by the head and squeezed his head so that it flattened, abruptly knocking out 2 Anbu heads from the rightful place of Anbushnikov, and all this in less than a second. Next, Naruto with 2 scythes of death, according to the author. Correction, 1 scythe with 3 blades in general, a demonic scythe with 3 blades looks top-notch, and the second gun-by weapon. These weapons were artifacts for both Susanoo Naruto and for ordinary combat. No one can take them or he will dry up until he dies, while they will very heavy. This is a tool in the likeness of Madara, only the original, and Madara has a craft made as a toy for shinobi from Rikudo. Naruto has all the original epta. The end of the author's POF, and so he began to chop everyone like Madara with a katana. And so Naruto jumped to Konoha's side and folded the seals of the great fiery destruction. Naruto blew a size with a width of 650 meters and a length of 1 kilometer. All the Anbu turned to ashes, and Naruto restored the forest. Everyone who was nearby was shocked by this force. Naruto said, "Damn, I didn't even spend a drop of chakra." All O.Li. Naruto said, "Hello Hokage-sama, I'll give you a note," and I went to my parents for now. "Don't worry, I killed all the Nukanins. I realized this because you wouldn't use your shinobi and subject them to certain execution, especially since it would weaken Konoha greatly." Hokage said, "You've got it right." Naruto said, "I'm off." And so Naruto came home and started saying, "Hello everyone." Kakashi saw Mina and they hugged Naruto crying. And of course, a cast-iron chakra-conducting pan flew Naruto on the head that Naruto just said, "Ah, my head is splitting, I'm these pots." Kakashi buried Naruto while neighing like a horse, since Kakashi was sure that Naruto would be in the hospital for a month, but it wasn't there that Mina said that he would swear at her again. Naruto understood and they all went to the table to eat. Right now it was day so Mina wanted to cook everything. And she said eat homemade ramen bye. Tom, go for a walk, maybe you'll drop by somewhere. Naruto nodded and said, as you have noticed, I have restored emotions only like demons. You know that I have a summoning of demonic beasts and here I have a summoning of demonic kites. Kakashi O.L. and said that this is one of the 3 legendary invocations. The first are kites, the second are foxes, and the third are dragons. Why not the phoenixes? Yes, because kites are phoenixes, only this is the main branch of these birds. Kakashi knew about it from his father. Naruto Pri.L from the knowledge of his father and asked, "Will you tell me everything later?" Kakashi nodded. Naruto changed his clothes in the shower, and he wore a kimono that almost no one could afford to buy. I put on exclusive shinobi sandals, a mask on the floor of the face. Naruto put his hair and went. Naruto was beautiful. Kimono, sandals, aristocratic face, 3 stripes on each side in the form of scars, while everything was covered with a white mask on the floor of the face with a red pattern and like neon. It was beautiful, still inflated body and a scar crossing the eye like Kakashi, and a hairstyle like Kakashi only better, sharp shiny white hair, red eyes like blood. Any chick would give it to him. And so Naruto went outside. Naruto goes without touching anyone, and then during the day the drunken Chunins see some stranger walking and chicks are looking at him. Naruto thought that someone but. And so the Chunins come to him and say, "Oh, you're a demon." What kind of people? Ik. A lot of people crowded to see it. The Hokage saw everything, because it was all at the Hokage residence. Naruto said, "Go on. I wasn't waiting for you here and didn't call you to come on." Chunins at Lee and the demon said we're going to kill you right now. And so the Chunins surrounded him and began to swing at him as Naruto with the help of his eyes pressed them to the ground under pressure of 1 ton and they flattened. Everyone was scared and ran away, and Naruto went to the Hokage residence. And so he saw the secretary, who saw everything and she was trembling. Naruto said, "Can I go to the Hokage?" The girl said with a shudder, "Yes, of course." Naruto said, "Something flowed between your legs." The girl blushed. And Naruto, as if nothing had happened, went to Minato. Naruto entered the office without knocking. Naruto saw Minato sitting and he filled out the documents satisfied. Naruto and Rinnegan saw Kushina under the table because Rinnegan allowed them to see through the walls. Naruto wanted to get up Naruto Jr., but he restrained him. Kushina sucked nervously. "To my husband." And Minato asked, "What did you want?" At the same time, he raised an eyebrow. Naruto said, "Hello Hokage-sama." Naruto bowed down. "Minato, are you about the ANBU?" Naruto replied, "Yes." Hokage said loudly, "Raven." And in 5 seconds, ANBU arrived in a raven mask. Hokage said, "Take him to the ANBU headquarters, he will serve with you at Hiruzen or create his own as Hiruzen decides. In short, get out of here." Anbushitsu got down on one knee and said, "There is a Hokage herself." According to the author, Anbushitsu did not notice you understood what. Even Danzo as Hiruzen are kind and kinder than in the canon. The end of the author's POF. And I went with Naruto to the headquarters of ANBU Hiruzen under the name Kara, Shimura Danzo had the name Root, Naruto went to Hiruzen with Anbushitsu. Naruto said, "Sorry, let's go in an hour, I just want to be with Tayanaka for a while." At the same time, Naruto's cheeks turned red. Anbushitsu said, "Let's go. And then you'll look for it yourself, I'll hear it again. I'll cut it off for you." Naruto said, "First take a nap, then sit down, then go on." The girl at .la, without answering, they disappeared Shunshin while the girl wanted to remember him. Naruto said, getting down on one knee, "Hello, Third Sama, can I create my own organization called Akatsuki? Our goal will be the destruction of objects, terrorism, murder, diversions, and the like. My team will have a maximum of 12 people capable of destroying a hidden village while killing everyone from a certain village. I'll be the squad leader." Naruto continued talking and finished. The third said, "Well Naruto, but it will be expensive. Very expensive." Hiruzen's pipe fell to the floor from this. "As it is, I agree. You can make an organization deep under Konoha." Naruto said, "Okay, the third one." And so Naruto left the base while he was going to make a base for a week, and then collect a month of apostates whom he noticed. Naruto disappeared with the help of the VMSH in the funnel. This ability was Naruto's VMSH like Obito's, the speed is equal to Hiraition Minato. Naruto knew 2 ways of moving and in my FF these are the best, and this is Minato teleportation, and the second is Kamui teleportation. According to the author, I want to write porn in the next part. Write if you don't mind. The end of the author's POF. And so Naruto appeared at home. And the holiday began, everyone was drinking. There were many families from clans. Naruto sat down at the table with the others, and the children were in the playroom. Naruto greeted everyone. And everyone congratulated Naruto in response. And so everyone drank. But Naruto was not given and he argued if he laid Tsunade, he would be given a case of sake. Everyone agreed because they knew that Naruto would lose. And so everyone went outside like their children. Itachi looked at Naruto with loving eyes and menacing because of the case about Naruto today. Mikoto, seeing this, was happy for her daughter. And so Naruto said, "Father, announce the beginning." He nodded. And on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And a huge wave passed. Naruto said, "I keep my hand straight, I don't even pull it, and you can't knock it down, but no, you can't even move it." Tsunade realized that she had lost and gave up. Tsunade said, "I can't win, I don't want him to break my arm." Everyone was shocked that Naruto didn't even twitch. And so everyone entered the house, and Naruto was talking to Sake. Naruto took the bottle and drank, and after a minute he drank it all. And I realized that alcohol has a bad effect on him and he drank for a long time. They tried to get him drunk, but they couldn't. Itachi with Shursui and Fugaku said, "Naruto, let's use our Susanoo, and you will have to defeat us." Kakashi turned pale and ol. Without having time to say anything, they already went to the landfill, which was not far from the Hatake family's house. And so all three of them used Susanoo, and Naruto used his own. It was as tall as Madara. Everyone knew about it that Naruto has Susanoo. But everyone was surprised that it was like Madara's Uchiha, only white in color and red patterns, red eyes with a white pattern. And Naruto had a Rinnegan in his eyes from 12 Tomo, Chekotamorina Sharingan or CHTRSH. Off the author, in my FF, after Rinnegan, there is a Chekotamo Rinnegan, then a Rinna Sharingan and a Chekotamorina Sharingan, or simply CHTRSH. Even in my FF, Susanoo will not be higher than Madara, as tall as Madara, but only Naruto will have Susanoo as tall as Madara, and the strength is stronger. Ha! The end of the author's POF. And that's it, O.Lee. Naruto had two of the two six-way sage artifacts. The first artifact is a scythe of death or a Shinigami scythe with 3 blades. It looks like this, a demonic ghostly scythe. The second artifact was Gunbai, to repel or absorb any attack and absorb any technique too. And Itachi had the third artifact, Tatsuka's sword, a pathetic semblance of a scythe of death. Naruto said, "You see everything yourself, Itachi-chan, and I will also say that there are only 2 artifacts. Tatsuka's sword is only a kind of scythe and it is not considered an artifact, it is useless against me and gods and demons." Tatsuka's sword was made by the sage of the 6 ways as a toy so that the gods and demons would not get hurt. Well, anyway, Naruto just held a horizontal scythe and cut off 3 Susanoo's head and their Susanoo scattered. They all went home, they all continued to drink and then they all passed out, and Naruto went into the room and wanted to go to bed, but he wanted a little. Mikoto at this time went to the toilet in a small way and when she came in she started to pee. And Naruto has already gone out into the corridor and started going to the toilet next. According to the author, read the verse, "Take your hands off the dick, there will be no hentai right now, but if you want, then write a word in the comms. Go hentai." Ahahaha. The end of the author's POF. Then there was a lemon and so Naruto said while blushing mentally, "Damn Kurama, where have you been?" Kurama replied, "I talked to Ashina Uzumaki, he will teach you in the subconscious, all the experience will be transmitted to you except for the physical in the subconscious, understand?" Naruto was surprised and said, "Okay." Then Kurama told a lot of things and joked, and eventually Naruto went to bed, and Kurama said finally, "I will start talking to you in a week or earlier, I will call Ashina Uzumaki for you. He will teach you Fuinjutsu since Uzumaki blood flows 20% in your blood, Uchiha and Hatake half, but I'm in the way at night, your blood will be 100%, your hair will not change, do not worry. Well, I will also call your grandfathers, your first grandfather from Kakashi is the White Fang of Konoha, to whom this is Uchiha Madara by mother's blood, and also by mother's blood this is Uzumaki, she is not a half-breed. The Uzumaki genes simply did not awaken in her, but they manifested in you. In general, I will make you 100% blood of all these clans. Okay, go to sleep, otherwise it will hurt you." And here's Naruto. He wakes up in the morning at 5 o'clock in the morning. There was severe pain, but Naruto still got up in the morning and before he left he took water treatments and then went to do the base. Before that he decided to go to the RAM room. Kurama was asleep and Naruto did not wake him up. And now Naruto is not anyone to be seen, but only some shops are starting to open. Naruto was walking and now he reached the belt, he sat down at a table and said, "The old man to me as usual." Tuchi saw and asked, "Are you Naruto?" Naruto said, "No. Ghost." Tucci was delighted and said, 5 servings on the house. Naruto was also welcomed with I am. And so Naruto, talking with Tucci, ate 5 portions of ramen and went to look for a good place to enter the Akatsuki base. And so Naruto found this place, and the entrance to the base was near the rock of the past Hokage village hidden in the foliage. Naruto put a barrier on the edge of the cliff. Naruto knew very little Fuinjutsu since the demons knew nothing about it. And so Naruto put up a barrier hiding the chakra, hiding the place, and did not let anyone through this barrier. It turned out to be very strong, put an illusory barrier a couple more seals. And now, an hour later, everything was finished with the barriers. It was over. Then Naruto, with the help of the element of stone, began to make a hole inside, remaking it into a formation. And after a long time Naruto made the Akatsuki base. It was already 7 o'clock in the evening. Naruto sent clones for furniture, and another clone to order a Joker mask and clones to order clothes for Akatsuki, namely black raincoats with red clouds, and the leader white with golden clouds, but if he doesn't like it, he will wear raincoats like everyone else hats with bells so that they hide the face, but this is not necessary. Then, after an hour, Naruto returned 1 minute later and a chakra-productive cast-iron pot of death flies into him. Kakashi threw a chair at him in general. Naruto did not understand anything and accepted 2 gifts on his head. Naruto disconnected. And 5 minutes later Naruto came to his senses and asked, "Why Mom, Dad?" Mina replied in a pose of hugging Kakashi, "We love you, son, so warn me when you're going to leave." Kakashi just nodded suspiciously looking at Naruto. And so Mina called everyone to eat. And before they ate, they said, "Itadakimasu." And they started to eat, and they ate grilled chicken. According to the author, I ate it before writing, I'm on you, I ate scrambled eggs. The end of the author's story. And so Naruto, when he ate, went to take water treatments, then went to his father's office and before entering, he knocked. Naruto asked, "Can I come in?" Kakashi replied, "Come in." And Kakashi looked menacingly at Naruto, and then neighed like a horse. There were anti-listening barriers in the office. And so Kakashi asked, still laughing, "Naruto, how did you put Mikoto down with cancer?" "I saw everything from the beginning to the end, don't worry, I won't tell Fugaku anything, but you will take me into your organization," the third one told me if anything. "Not well, finally you even managed to come in it." Kakashi neighed and fell off the chair while bumping his head and stopped laughing. Kakashi stood up, rubbed the bump and said, "So will you take it?" Naruto replied, "Okay." Naruto was the reddest tomato in the world. Kakashi said, "Don't do that anymore, or you'll disgrace the clan." Naruto nodded. According to the author, there are more than 20 people living in the Hatake clan. Kakashi is the head of the clan. Naruto will be next. The end of the author's story. And so Naruto said, "Father, then you will follow him, after Deidara, all the details are indicated in the documents." Kakashi said, "Well, when will the leader come forward herself?" Naruto said, "Call me that only when we're on duty." Kakashi replied, "Okay." Naruto answered the previous question, "Move out tomorrow as soon as you are free." Kakashi nodded, and Naruto left while saying, "Good night, father." Kakashi said, "Good night, son." And now Naruto has already undressed in his room. And went to bed, but Itachi was in front of him. Naruto asked, "They didn't teach you to knock, and why is it so late?" Itachi answered quietly, "Is it okay to have lemon with my mom?" Itachi screamed. Naruto replied, "She herself. Besides, she wanted it, don't worry, she won't get pregnant, I separated the seed during the cupcake, as a result, ordinary sperm turned out." Itachi blushed and said, "I'll kill you." Itachi approached Naruto and stabbed him through the heart of Tonto, which is fun behind his back. Itachi then realized what she had done and cried, because Itachi loves him. Naruto pretended to be dead to listen to what Itachi-chan would say. Itachi began to speak in a whisper shouting, "Naruto, I didn't mean to, I love you, sorry." Itachi was crying. And there was MG in her eyes. Naruto said, "I love you too. And your mother probably checked me out." Itachi hugged Naruto and said, "Naruto, don't leave me." Naruto said, "I've been in love with you for a long time, and I won't leave you and I won't give it to anyone." Itachi snuggled closer to Naruto and said good night. And Naruto kissed her passionately on the lips, and after 5 minutes of passionate kissing, they did not even come off. Naruto said, "I am immortal, you will not lose me." And so Itachi said, "Come tomorrow at 8 to my parents invited you and I." Naruto said, "Okay, I'll be there tomorrow." And Naruto went to bed. And Itachi disappeared in Shunshin. And so she opened the door and entered the house all red. Itachi ran to her room all red as a crab. Mikoto realized what was going on and did not ask, and about the fact that it was a test, she would then tell Itachi or not tell. Mikoto thought. Mikoto thought and realized how Itachi noticed me, and that's how, when I came to the bedroom to Fugaku, I saw Itachi, but I didn't pay attention. Well, okay, what happened was, and then Fugaku pays little attention to me, and as I understood, Naruto told me that he separated something and finished only with ordinary sperm. Well, at least I had fun, and it's good that Naruto is immortal. Otherwise I think Naruto would have already died if not for immortality. Well, okay, we have to go to bed. Otherwise it's too late, Mikoto thought, and besides, a good son-in-law will turn out of Naruto. And so Itachi undressed in her dreams and went to bed. And so Naruto woke up early in the morning and he went slowly but surely to wash and brush his teeth. I almost made the organization. Today I'm going to the Uchiha family, for dinner I think. What will happen there? I have a premonition. Okay, I already took a shower and brushed my teeth. I went to get dressed, namely, I put on training clothes. I received a note this morning. It says that I should receive the entire order for a round sum at the end of the week. Okay, I have the money. I start talking in my subconscious. Red Flea, wake up. The fox is silent. I thought that he would wake up in a week after all. Well, okay. Those who were in the subconscious namely Kurama, managed to summon 3 people, and expand the chakra for the eyes to the end, because they could go blind, but slowly, almost did not blind. Now they do not go blind at all, although I was not blind then either. I went down into the subconscious because I felt that someone was calling me there. I sat on the floor in the lotus position and began to meditate, and here I am in my subconscious standing and seeing 3 people. I didn't understand who they were, but I asked, "Who are you?" In response, they hugged me and said that they were Madara, Ashina and Sakuma. They told me that they were my grandfathers. I hugged them and let out a lonely tear for the first time. And after hugging, they began to say, "Hello Naruto, you are a child of prophecy, the one who will destroy or subdue the world and direct it in a good direction, and we will also train because your abilities are such, physical strength at the level of God Shinobi, Sharingan is the last step, besides, I'll see that you have eternal and there is continuation, this is your CHTRN, this is very good Naruto." I asked, "Are we going to train in the subconscious?" Sakuma replied, "Yes, you will train in the subconscious for a very long time. I recommend you to slow down the time here, but do so. 1 year here is equal to 1 hour in the real world." I said okay. And so I imagined all this, and Ashina began to tell me, "We will train you in the real world until 7 in the evening in your world. I will teach you Fuinjutsu, Madara will use his eyes and Sakuma will teach you fast attacks and speed that will exceed the speed of the 4th Hokage." Digression: Naruto at the level of Kage, physical strength at the level of the Shinobi God, Bukenjutsu the Shinobi God, Kenjutsu the Shinobi God, Taijutsu the Shinobi God, eyes at the levels of strong Chunin, since Naruto does not know the strength of his eyes and knows only how to follow the movements, genjutsu and the rest of the level of Nido Genin, and more strategic skills. Naruto has a shinobi god. The end of the retreat. So I said, yeah to me, and I think. They answered, yes. And so we started to train. Mentally I was getting old, even though I am immortal, but the years go by. And I'm already 808 years old. I accepted everything and started training, first with Madara, then with Tsukumo, and then with Ashina. They showed me memories and passed on all their knowledge, and so I studied for a long time, for 17 years, and I was already 825 years old. My age is unknown, but I studied the elements for a very long time and learned them. And so we started saying goodbye. They told me, Naruto, be a strong spirit, protect Konoha whatever she is, find yourself a favorite girl, but I think you found her, good luck to those. Be for your purposes. And they began to put seals into my soul. I absorbed them. Now they know what I'm doing, but all their strength was transferred to me with experience and knowledge that needs to be worked out. And before that, I said goodbye to them, and at the same time I let out a tear. But when their case was over, an unexpected thing happened. I felt a strong force, and I also did not feel emotions. I could not show them without a drop. They are available when I frankly want to say something. I can only make a barely noticeable smile. And so I found myself in the real world, and I decided to tell my parents everything. Kakashi was surprised and questioned Naruto. Mina also connected. And half an hour has passed since I decided to show them the memories. Kakashi pri.l that Naruto is older than him, and by a lot. I asked, do you want to go with me to visit the Uchiha? They called me at 8 o'clock. I don't want to go alone. Kakashi just wanted to say no, he doesn't want to, but Mina decided everything for everyone and said, of course son. Kakashi sent almost everyone from his row team to find Deidara. And so they all changed clothes except Naruto. He was already ready. We moved out on the road. While we were walking, the girls threw me loving glances, because there was a handsome guy they had not seen yet. And since drunken Chunins always seem to meet in the evening, I decided to get ahead of them. I activated the VMSH. I couldn't use a normal Sharingan, it's too low for my level. And so I activated the VMSH and sent my genjutsu most strongly in terms of torture. They started yelling loudly and screaming. Everyone felt a strong surge of chakra coming from my eyes. I made seals that won't let you get your eyes out. If you die, the Sharingan will evaporate. My eyes were protected. And now Anbu appears along with Hokage. I started to say, don't be afraid, you can go, they are vegetables now. I turned off my eyes and they became scarier. This steel and what he had seen were displayed in his eyes. Hokage only decided to leave, and a couple of his Anbu decided to attack Naruto. I only foresaw this, and when they approached, everyone thought that I was a corpse, but it wasn't there. I took the scythe of death sharply. They were 1 meter away from me on both sides, and their tanto almost grazed my skin. And in order not to spoil the costume, I jumped up with a sharp movement, and in the air I held a scythe horizontally across their necks. I jumped beautifully, and jumped away from them to the right. All this happened in less than a second. Everyone standing next to me was in shock. They wanted to attack, but I activated my HTRSH and pressed them into the ground. Not much, but they all flattened to it. I said menacingly with steel in my voice, one more time and you will die quickly. I removed the equipment and we went on. The parents didn't say anything because their son did the right thing. And so we reached the Uchi quarter and they let us through because they knew who was coming. We passed, they looked at us friendly and many knew or assumed that I was Itachi's boyfriend, and the girls looked at me as an example and with loving glances. I only looked with stern, cold, steely eyes that those who looked at them were afraid while respecting him. And so we reached the Uchi house and knocked. At this time, Anbu, when they found Deidara, Anbu began to say, namely, the captain, Deidara herself calls you Naruto herself. He wants to invite you to a secret organization called Akatsuki. You will be provided and can use any explosives in a special training ground, but if you refuse, we will leave and Naruto herself will come for you and then you will most likely die, because he is stronger than Kage. Kakashi-senpai told us so. We only believe him because he never cheated, but was only late. Deidara only thought, and replied, well, just remove the status of a criminal from me. Anbu said, you will live very well, fine, so let's say, you only have to go on a mission and that's it. You will also have a couple with someone, only a select few can get into that organization. Some of us would also like to go there, but our strength should be at least at the level of Kage. Deidara pri.l and said, in the name of the art of explosion, I agree with your proposal. After all, Deidara realized in his thoughts that that person appreciates art and evaluates it to the level of Kage. And Deidara said, I agree, get on the bird, I think we will be in Konoha tomorrow. The Anbu nodded and jumped on the bird. They went to Konoha. At this time, the Hatake family came to the Uchiha family and Naruto knocked on the door. And so I knocked and Mikoto came out and she remembered how Naruto was beating her and was embarrassed. I noticed it and didn't show it. And Kurama woke up and said, Naruto, don't you want to do a cupcake with her? I said, no, and you're already awake? Kurama replied, as you hear the goldfinch. I said go to sleep red flea and turned off the subconscious. And Kurama just thought that Naruto then he from it. And so Mikoto led us through, we went into their house and took off our shoes, Mikoto sent us to wash our hands, and she took Mina with her to gossip. And so my father and I went to wash our hands and noticed the Hokage family and I got a little angry and my eyes became very steely and not pierced, as well as not requiring objections. Hokage noticed Naruto's look and he was scared. The great fourth Hokage, I thought in my mind. I just grunted in Uchihavsky and we washed our hands while sitting down at the table. Kakashi said, hi Minato-sensei. I said, hello Hokage-sama. Minato said, just call me Minato since you are Kakashi's son. I replied, no, you are Hokage yourself and nothing more. Hearing this Kushina she said, Naruto apologize quickly to the Hokage for your treatment. I said, I will kill anyone who will tell me, I will also kill for my relatives and friends, but if people close to me suffer, then I will kill everyone who is dear to you in front of your eyes, and this is just for example, and I will only say die to you. Kushina was scared, and said, Minato do something. Minato said, sorry Kushina he is stronger than me, I found it out in the dossier of the third. I said, that's right Hokage-sama. Mikoto said, Naruto while we're talking here, will you go to the kids to play? I replied, no, I have nothing to do with the little ones. Mikoto frowned and said, is Itachi there and is she a Milieska too? I replied, she's a babysitter, then. Kakashi only gave a slap on the head while laughing. I looked at my father with a look for what? Kakashi said, you're not on duty right now and I'm not. We're visiting so, ph, go ahead. I looked with my eyes saying this I will remember you. Kakashi said, don't get mad and go ahead, maybe I'll call you later. I said, okay. And I went with Mikoto to the nursery. Mikoto saw me off. Mikoto opened the door and pushed me in, and she closed the door while giggling. I just said out loud, kindergarten of some kind. Menma said, go, the demon is still alive. Naruto just said nothing and sat down on an empty chair. According to the author, the next part will be released in the evening. The end of the author's story. And so I sat down in a chair. Naruto and Mika asked their brother Menma who is a demon. Menma replied, this is the man, he has killed many people. I just said while smiling like a madman, yes, you're right, I killed, but my hands are not elbow deep in blood. Menma said, demon, scum. I just kept silent and said, "Go on." Menma attacked me with his fists. I just got up and grabbed his hand while breaking his arm and pressed it into the floor. My foot was on his back. I grinned and said, "You're nothing under Dad's skirt, but you suck under Mom's tit." Menma started crying, and I broke his arm. Menma ran to my father to complain. I just disappeared into Kamui outside the village to look for the rest, while I sent a demonic little griffin to my father so that he would know where he was. Itachi was angry at Menma all this time. She went to the kitchen and said, "I am." Before Itachi could say something, Fugaku said, "You're going to marry Menma Namikaze at the age of 16, Itachi cried and ran into the room while saying, "I won't visit you." Menma, who had recovered from a broken arm, asked his father, "What's wrong with her?" Menma's father said, "She is very happy about this and these are tears of joy." Fugaku in his heart pitied her in a place with his wife. The documents were signed that the son of Hokage should marry Uchiha Itachi. Menma was delighted and said out loud, "Father, can I have a cupcake with her?" Everyone choked. Fugaku didn't say anything, he couldn't say anything, but he was furious. Minato replied, "Of course only both sides should agree." Fugaku relieved himself, but realized something was wrong here, and he decided to rely on Naruto. Menma grinned maliciously. And now Naruto has already turned, according to the author. I will say that Naruto is 10 years so easier, and not 830 years, but 10 is so easier. It was already 10 years old. Naruto left Konoha and was assembling his organization. Hatake warned Hokage that he was looking for people for his organization. And so Naruto earned the nickname Joker all over the world. A merciless killer, a steel hunter, and a master of mutilating bodies, the numbers of how many he killed were displayed on the scythe of death. Even if we kunai, then the spit will display +1 murder. One Nuke escaped and told the last figures of how many I killed, and that was 9,990 murders. Everyone was afraid of me. Another nickname I got the Joker because of the mask. Digression, Menma is 10 years old, Naruko is 9 years old, she was born after 1 year of Menma's birth and Mika was also born, she is 7 years old. The end of the retreat. And over the past year, the Akatsuki organization under the command of the Joker received the nickname Crazy Killers, and now 12 people were approaching Konoha, namely Itachi. He left Konoha in search of Naruto, because he was gone for a long time, Kasama, Deidara. He then left Itachi, Nagato, Healthy, Kakuzu, Haiden, Konan, Sasori, Zetsu, Tobi. Tobi is Tobi, Obito is Tobi. Only he went crazy and became Tobi. In general he is just Tobi. Who is Tobi? Well, in short, just Tobi. Kakashi went for Naruto in a place with Itachi and Deidara, and the head himself, and that's me. And so we approached Konoha. Izuna and Katetsu were on guard, and they created clones and sent them to the Hokage. When Izuna came to the Hokage, he said, "Hokage-sama, the Akatsuki organization is approaching the village urgently." Minato realized that it was Naruto and teleported to the village gate. And so they came to the gate of the village. I started to say, "Hokage herself, I arrived with my people, they are all at the level of Kage, who one-on-one can defeat one Kage and stay alive. I am immortal at my level, so decide for yourself. Besides, do not address me by name, I am a Joker and period." Hokage nodded and said he would do the documents and remove the status of the Nukanins. I ordered, "Follow me to the base." And we disappeared, I in Kamui, the rest in vibration as if at high speed. Minato did not follow. And so I said, "Everyone go to your rooms." Itachi said, "Naruto, you love me, I do not know what it is, I am only a commander and a killer, my SSS plus class level, that is, the level of the shinobi god, meanwhile you are all S plus class." Itachi started crying and wanted to leave, but I said, "You can't leave without my permission, you're punished, you won't leave until you wash the shelter, or I'll kill you. I said crazy. The rest stood and were afraid to say anything. Hayden found out that Naruto was a new Jashin and did not say anything against him. Before this organization was called Kara, now Akatsuki. And so Itachi was doing her job in tears, and I ordered, everyone is free, Kakuzu you are now an accountant, Nagato you are a deputy, Konan you are a secretary, Deidara is a terrorist, Hayden you are an executioner, Sasori you will torture, Kisame paired with Itachi are just killers, Kakashi you will also be a killer, we are all killers, but we all have responsibilities. Everyone is free. Everyone said, so exactly the leader herself. I said, Itachi, you don't have to leave without me for half an hour. Itachi was sobbing. And now half an hour has passed and Itachi barely finished, and then thanks to the clones. I said, I'm sorry Itachi, let's go tell the problem, I'll help, I'm also sorry for my character. Itachi hugged me, I hugged her back, I said, so let's change and go, and so I went to my office and changed while I went to the shower, then I waited for Itachi-chan. And so we found ourselves on the streets of the village, and Itachi started talking. Along the way we went to her house. Itachi said that she was forced to marry Menma at the age of 16, I understood everything and said, I'm sorry, Itachi went to you, and although we have already come, now I'll talk to your father, don't say anything, I'm not one of those people who likes to wait or be refused. And so Itachi knocked on the door and opened Mikoto. Itachi quickly found herself in her room, and when I was changing, I thought I had changed, and when I was walking, I thought why everyone's nose was bleeding from the female. Now I realized, I forgot to put on a kimono, because I didn't forget to put on kimono pants. Mikoto blushed and said come on in, I was wearing a half-face mask, the one I always wear. I went through, took off my shoes, went to wash my hands, and went into the kitchen. Minato was there, and there were others, and these are Kushina, Menma, Naruto and Mika. I walked over and sat down at the chair. Kushina said, why are you bare-chested? Kushina was angry. I answered brazenly, go on. Whore, I go as I want, and I'm on business. Kushina came up and wanted to crack like me when she had already swung her hand. I took and grabbed her hand while squeezing, she screamed and went to Minato crying in his back. Hokage got angry and wanted to figure it out for himself as I said, Akatsuki. Minato was about to hit me when Nagato appeared and threw him away. Nagato said, what kind of assignments will the leader do herself? I was asked, why are there 10 of you, there should be 11 of you, and including me there are 12. I said with steel and cold, and then Itachi appeared. I said, that's it. And the Akatsuki lined up with Naruto's Zaidi. Menma squeaked and spitefully said, demon, did you bring other demons too? I just said, Kisame you. Before I could finish, the Hokage got down on his knees and said, please don't. Hokage said with a tremor in his voice. Everyone was in shock. I replied, punishment should be received. Hokage replied, okay. I said, Kakashi, Hayden, Itachi, Kisame, take him to the Sasori torture chamber, you will torture him. Sasori asked, at a minimum? I replied, to begin with, yes. Everyone was scared and surprised. And the 4 grabbed the Hokage while Nagato put a seal on the restraining chakra, and broke the 4th he was taken away. I said, Fugaku-sama, to marry not according to the will of my subordinate is severely punished, what do you say in your defense? Fugaku said, this is the order of the 4th, if I refused, the Uchiha clan would be cut out. I replied, okay, so I'm destroying your contract, for insubordination you are accused of treason of the village, and you will eventually be killed, or you will work on the beds. Fugaku will answer, but how will I break the contract? I said, tear up the leaflet, anyone who is against or who decides to attempt any of the clans for no reason, or marry someone will be punished or killed. I said with steel in my voice and without objections, Itachi, you are now free to go to rest, and I will go have fun. No one understood exactly where to have fun, and Conan said, he went to torture his enemies. Everyone said, it's clear. And all disappeared beautifully as they appeared. And here we are at the base and listen to the cries of pain and mercy. I just went into the torture room and saw Minato, who said, you can't get away with this. Minato screamed with pain. I've told Sasori enough. Sasori nodded. I said, everyone is free. Everyone immediately bowed and disappeared about their business. I said, well, Hokage, know that Konoha obeys Akatsuki, and you are just a pawn, and for that. I healed the Hokage and restored my sanity. Hokage disappeared in lightning and ended up in the office. Hokage shouted, cat. Anbu in a cat mask arrived and asked, did you call the Hokage yourself? At the same time, Anbushnik got down on one knee and bowed his head. Hokage replied, yes, gather a meeting of all the heads of clans. The cat replied, yes. Naruto meanwhile found himself at home with his father. Kakashi said, haven't you become too cruel, Naruto? I replied, you have to be strict on the mission. Kakashi answered correctly, only we, or rather you have to obey the Hokage or it will already be a prison. I thought about it and said, you're right, but I'll have my rights now, too. Kakashi nodded. Mina at this time beat Kakashi and Naruto with a pan while saying, where have you been all this time? My father and I reported, the most important rule in our life is not to raise a hand against the family. And so we washed our hands and washed in the shower, not together in turn, we are not pedophiles. And so we sat down to dinner, and before we ate we said, itadakimasu, and we talked about a lot of things. When Minato, the father of 3 children, was taken away, Menma, as the eldest son, asked, where did they take him? Kushina also asked this question and they were nervous and tense. Itachi replied, our organization specializes in cruelty and we obey the Hokage, but this time Naruto herself. Everyone asked, yourself? I replied, yes, do not interrupt, and so Itachi began to say what is allowed to say. Everyone was in shock. The children of Kushin and Minato said, he is a demon like his gang. Menma added, since he obeys my father, he and his gang will kiss my feet. Itachi answered and smiled a terrible smile, I have a wiretap stamp on me. When they talk about our organization, it all reaches our people who have access activated, and at the moment your father can be killed and all because of your son Kushin-san. Kushina turned pale and gave Menma a slap on the head, and this was the first time when Kushina hit her son. And so everyone dispersed. Meanwhile, I took water treatments and went to bed, and my parents talked further. Itachi also went to bed and was glad that she was getting closer to Naruto on the sly. This day was a surprise for everyone. Author's opinion, although I don't really understand this plot, but then my next FF will be much better, they will be more extensive and interesting, even when the plot ends, I think I will write such a plot that you will write in the comments. The end of the author's story. According to the author, I wrote you a story, and SSS Plus is the level of the shinobi god and higher. The end of the author's story. And so the next day I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I went down and took a shower, I brushed my teeth, and went to the kitchen to eat. I saw my father and asked, hi, Bat, I understand I got too excited, I'm sorry. I said, scratching the back of my head. Kakashi said, don't apologize, you're doing everything right, but you can't do that to Hokage, even though he deserves it, but still. I replied, I understand you, father. Kakashi said, that's good. And so I went outside to train, I went to the training ground that is at my base. When I came I saw that everyone at the base was waiting for something or someone. I said, stand still. Everyone did what I said. Nagato said, Naruto, I'm sorry, but the third one ordered you to go to the academy and everyone laughed. I stood in prostration, and they all laughed. I released my ki to the full and the whole Konoha bent down with cancer, and even the Hokage fell pinned to the floor. All shinobi below the rank of Jonin wet themselves and shit themselves. The Akatsuki knelt down. I asked, why does the garbage stink? Nagato replied, Leader Sama, we apologize. I just went and gestured with my hand that they would stand still, and in the meantime I went to my office and put on a Joker mask and my combat uniform, and these are black shinobi sandals, black shinobi pants with a bandage on my right leg, a black t-shirt, and I also threw a black windbreaker, and upstairs I threw on a white cloak with golden clouds. I also put on long and black gloves made of durable leather, combed my hair, and changed my mask, exactly the same, only new. I turned to my face without a mask, and took a katana that was lying in the office and cut a smile along my lips while blood flowed, and I only pressed her with the element of fire while leaving a scar, because I can leave scars of my own will, but it is not possible to heal, or maybe it is possible, but I don't need it and I don't know it. I burst into a crazy laugh at the same time there was pain in my voice. I took makeup and began to draw on my imagination, drawing a face. I pressed it all down. I screamed wildly in my laughter and in my style. My teeth sharpened and my fangs lengthened. It hurt, but my psyche died, and I was with a smile. I went out into the corridor while I put the mask on the floor of my face and thought and took it off by putting it in the pocket of my windbreaker. Kurama started to say, Naruto, are you all right? I'm worried about you, but you're my first and only friend. I said, Kurama, you supported me, I will never betray you, and thank you for taking care of me. Kurama said, you're welcome and go to Sharaga or kindergarten as it suits you. I was calm before and I just hit the wall with my hand mentally, and so I came to the common room for a meeting. Everyone was scared and Nagato asked, Leader, are you okay? And where did you get the scar in the form of a smile? You're an immortal. I said with a crazy smile, I can make scars at will. Everyone was scared. I was both very beautiful and very scary. I said, or rather ordered, Akatsuki quickly to the assembly hall. Everyone who was missing arrived at the base in less than a minute. Hayden stood and bowed to me while saying something to Naruto herself, and I said, if you all want to get an eternal immortal, say it. Hayden said, I have eternal immortality, I will recover. Ato is fast even. You won't blink, but I'm standing at him. I replied, you are immortal, I agree, but you all know Edo Tensei and so, Edo Tensei has true regeneration, but it has disadvantages, and mine does not. Only one, betraying me. I stopped for a short pause and I continued, I will remove immortality from you and you will die, while disappearing into the stomach of the Shinigami. Everyone was scared, but everyone swore an oath that they would not betray. Even if they betrayed me by the mark, I could kill, but this is a more serious matter. And so Deidara said, in the name of my art of explosion, you have recognized my art and I will follow you as a leader myself, even to hell, even to earth, even though I will engage with you in the art of Sasori. Everyone laughed when they heard this, and Sasori said, don't you want to learn my art yourself? At the same time, Sasori looked at Deidara with a smirk. I replied, I want to study your art with Deidara. Deidara just started crying while telling me and as if he hadn't heard that he would practice the art of Sasori, Leader, I knew it myself that you would truly know my art. I just nodded, and the others laughed into their fists. I ordered everyone to stand at attention. Everyone stood up and I said, Saturday and Sunday are off, the rest of the days are working, as you give everyone money only to whom it is necessary and for business, you can give money just like that. But write down who and how much money was taken and you will also report to me in my office. I will give you immortality. I'll give it to you right now. 5 minutes later I made everyone immortal. Everyone bowed in response and started checking. I said, you will only feel half as much pain. I said this calmly and judiciously that everyone was surprised. I spoke in a steely and cold-blooded voice that did not require objections. Kakuzu got down on one knee and said, "There is a leader herself." I nodded and told them to take turns coming into my office. I went in first with Nagato, and so I sat down at my chair and started saying, "Nagato, since you are my deputy, you will be with me everywhere from Monday to Friday." Nagato said, "There is a leader herself, and I'm sorry for my rudeness, but Kanan is like a sister to me. I want you to let her be a friend." I replied, "She is immortal and no one will touch her, and if she is touched and captured, I will feel it and help her." Nagato nodded and said, "Thank you, Leader Sama." I said, "Do not think that I am strict with you. I will kill anyone for you and no one dares to defame you." All who overheard and hearing this, tears of joy were shed. Nagato said, "Thank you, Leader Sama, I'm with you to the grave." So I started assigning missions, but I changed my mind and said, "Nagato, bring everyone here." Nagato nodded and called everyone over. Everyone came in, and I said, "The meeting of the clan heads is about to begin." The third one sent me a message along with Danzo, and the fourth one is thinking of overthrowing us. Everyone was outraged. I ordered everyone to calm down and so I said more, "We are going to the residence for a meeting of the heads of clans." Everyone bowed on one knee and said, "There is a leader herself." And so I moved out of the village for a long time. It's even better, and we left the shelter, and went to the assembly hall, and while we were walking, everyone was afraid and ran away, and we were walking to the Hokage residence. And when we came in, I said, "Deidara, Sasori guard the entrance and exit, Deidara you guard in the air, Sasori near the entrance to the residence, or together on the birds, Deidara will share the bird, I think so." I looked at Deidara with a look that did not require refusal. He got down on one knee and said, "There is a leader herself." I said, "Well, and so Haiden and Kakuzu you will be standing at the exit of the meeting hall." They got down on one knee and said, "There is a leader herself." I also said, "The rest follow me." The secretary was very scared and just sat on her ass at attention. Who cares about the second size breasts, and the ass is elastic. And so I knocked on the Hokage's residence and the meeting just wanted to start when they heard a knock on the door and author's opinion. The next part will be released tomorrow afternoon. As soon as I wake up I will start writing, and in the evening I want to write. Please write the word write, not sleep. So that I would write the next part. Since I'm a dormouse, I like to sleep. The end of the author's POF. And so Nagato knocked and opened the door. First a few Akatsuki came in first, and others from behind as protection, and so we went into the hall. Nagato closed the door and was next to me. Nagato led me to my seat where the fake me was sitting. I was very angry, but I didn't show it, but I just made a crazy smile that made everyone shudder. Everyone started to resent who we were. I said, "I am the leader of the Akatsuki, and whoever pretends to be me will be punished worse than death. Conan, take him to the base in the torture room." I ordered with a crazy smile. Everyone was scared. That imposter started saying, "How dare you raise your voice to?" Before he could finish, he was gone, and I sat down at my place, and Conan had already returned and stood on my right side. Everyone was in shock, and Hamuro and Koharu were very scared and started screaming that who we are and we should be executed like. I said, "Everybody shut up." Immediately, strangely enough, everyone shut up, because it's a great honor for many shinobi to meet the head of Akatsuki herself. I said, "So I'm the head of the Akatsuki organization, we work on deer. I pay for a round sum, you provide us with money, we protect you in return, in case of violation of the contract." I took out a copy of the contract just in case and continued, "We will leave Konoha, since we are the strongest organization and all shinobi are at the level of Kage, and I am at the level of the shinobi god, then you yourself understand the difference in our powers." Everyone nodded and began to say Shikaku Nara, it's good since you are multiplying the power of the shinobi of our village. I wonder what amount you have to pay per month, not including what you would take missions. I answered with a smile, 100 million ri is not enough, but then my people will get lazy, and Kakuzu will not come out of the pool with money at all. Some laughed. The head of the Uchiha clan asked, "And what does Itachi do with you?" I replied, "She is a genjutsu master after me, and very strong. I just need such people, and I will also get ahead of your questions. When the working day begins, everyone turns with respect to the head, namely me, and I am also the real joker for whose head they offer 999 billion ri. All O.Li. Fugaku said, "I want to consolidate the relationship with you with your help. I want Itachi to marry you." I replied, "Oh, yes, once again the shinobi of the sheet will be given out for a husband not by their will, they will be killed, even if the Hokage is too much." Shikaku replied, "Yes, you are right." Everyone was surprised, but only nodded. I got the documents on the secret affairs of two elders, namely Kohara and Hamuro. So I gave them to Nagato and ordered him to show them to everyone. "Nagato, show them this. Conan, take those two to Sasori's torture chamber." Conan nodded, but no one said anything because they thought I would say something to that. And when everyone saw it, they would like to say something. As I said, they will try at the third level of torture. This level of torture is the strongest. After it they will never want to live, and I will send their souls to the Shinigami myself. Everyone just nodded and would like to see. I just said, "Okay, I can see in your eyes that you want to see it." Everyone just nodded approvingly. I added, "Then in a week the torture will begin from our side on the roof of the Hokage residence." Everyone nodded. I also said, "Hokage-sama, I ask you not to be offended by us. I think the village is very important to you. I ask you to tell Menmi Namikes to respect us. In extreme cases we will have to use force." Hokage said, "And you will forgive me, Naruto-sama, this will not happen again." I just nodded and told Nagato to bring all the Akatsuki here. Nagato disappeared and everyone was waiting for something, and after a minute the rest of the Akatsuki appeared. I just introduced everyone and their level of strength. They were all surprised and happy, and Hokage began to say, "Naruto herself." I replied, "Yes, I am listening to you." Hokage continued, "We invite you to our house for dinner in honor of Menma's birthday, and in another 5 years I think there will be a war against the 4 great villages. Will you help us?" I replied, "Of course, it will be expensive." Hokage and the other heads were delighted and asked how much. I answered. Everyone was shocked, but it didn't matter to them, and Hokage asked, "How much will your service cost purely without our help?" I answered twice as much as I said, "This is because of the costs of the chakra. You can also not pay us monthly, but only for missions. We will say how much it will cost, namely Kakuzu. I am also the god of immortality. We are all immortal, and I will leave for my post of god in the future, with the rest of the Akatsuki, but it will be maybe in 1,000 years, and by the way, I'm already 830 years old so and so." Everyone was out. And the Hokage ended the meeting while telling me and the others who would come to Menma's birthday, "I'm waiting for you in a week." The third and Danzo came up to me and shook hands and were happy for me, and Kakashi hugged me and was proud of me. According to the author, we need to fix everything and continue the plot. The finale will be a war of 10 pages, but that's what I think. The end of the author's story. And the next day there was an academy. I put on a kimono, but before that I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning, brushed my teeth, washed in a cold shower, and looked at my face and saw that I was very handsome even, but I decided to put a mask on the floor of my face so as not to scare anyone. Makeup I just made it richer. And so I go accompanied by Nagato, and it was already Tuesday, and that's how I said I was going to the academy with Nagato. Everyone was afraid of me as they saw my face. Even though I was wearing a half-face mask, I was handsome and at the same time very scary. But the girls just flowed from creativity. And so we approached the Shinobi Academy. And the Hokage appeared, and began to rub the game. I just sat on a tree, and Nagato was guarding me. And when the Hokage finished, we started approaching the ball that shows the power of the chakra. For example, we started calling people to the ball. Irika said, "Green is the weak level, you will go to the light class, orange is the color you will go to the middle class, and red is the color you will go to the elite class, that is, to me." And so the Hokage began to summon himself, Sasuke Uchiha. Sasuke went out to the ball and the ball lit up dark red, which meant the elite class. Menma also had a dark red color, Kiba Inuzuka light red chakra of the elite class, but a weak elite shinobi, and so on. And now it was my turn, Hokage said loudly, "Naruto Hatake." And I went out. I stood next to my parents when they came. Mina was angry when she saw my face, and Dad was almost sent to the next world. Immortality only helped, but Mom was still offended, but not so much. And everyone dispersed when I was walking. After all, there had been no word or spirit from me for a long time. Menma began to shout, "Demon, that you can't go anywhere at all without protection, can you?" I just stopped and answered, "Hokage-sama." Hokage understood everything and appeared near Menma and gave him a slap on the head, because Hokage didn't want me to do it. Everyone was surprised and shocked, especially when Hokage added, "You are punished by Menma." Menma began to be indignant, but no one except his friends listened to him anymore. I said, "Nagato, wait here, I'll go on by myself." Nagato said out of habit, but everyone just looked at me in bewilderment. There is a leader herself. I grinned with such a smile that it's good that no one sees how I smile and with what kind of smile, otherwise I would have to pump everyone out, because I had very scary eyes past the smile. And now I'm already approaching the ball. It started to turn black and turned black, so when I approached it, it shattered into dust, which meant that my chakra was at the level of the shinobi god. Everyone saw it and began to fear me very much. I wanted to pull off the mask. I already touched it as Nagato stopped me saying, "Don't scare them, otherwise we won't pump them out later." Everyone just became curious about what was behind the mask, but the heads of the clans only knew it, and were glad that I covered my face. I saw it with their eyes, but I didn't care. Kurama just got high looking at my life. I just grinned that it was not visible under the mask. And after everyone left, we all went to our classroom, and I ordered Nagato to monitor the base and told him that I would call him when kindergarten was over. Nagato nodded and disappeared beautifully in vibrations. It was Shunshin modified to the limit, namely I modified it. And when everyone went into the classroom, and it was noisy there, I was waiting in the corridor and the bell rang. The teacher was already there and did not notice me, as I was at the desk in the last row, and I disappeared into Kamui by activating the VMSH. And when I appeared in the classroom, everyone noticed my eyes, and Sasuke-chan started to say, "Where did you get the eyes of our clan and where did you get the MG?" I replied, "My mother is Uchiha, her father was Uchiha Madara, and my father is from the Hatake clan, his father is Sakuma Hatake, and I also have Uzumaki blood in me. The wife of Madara Uchiha of my grandfather was Uzumaki Mika, my grandmother. Is everything clear to you now?" Everyone was surprised and shocked, and Menma was in a hurry because I was the grandson of Madara himself. Sasuke said, "Where did you get such eyes from, because it's almost impossible to wake up such eyes so early anyway." I replied, "I don't remember when I woke them up, but it seems to be at the age of 3. Sasuke fell silent and sat down, and Menma said, "Demon." I replied, "You probably don't know, and it's better for you not to know. Come to the Hokage residence in 6 days. I laughed with a crazy smile that is not visible because of the mask. Hinata Hyuga was cheeky and activated Byakugan and looked at me, but she just screamed and said, "Demon, ugly." I only said with mockery at the same time in a calm voice, "Are you talking about my Ulubika?" Hinata replied, "Yes." The rest of the Hyugo clan girls activated the tank Yugen and said that I'm handsome, and the guys are only with fear. According to the author, the next part will be somewhere in the evening. Support me, because this part was done for almost 4 hours. Thank you all. The end of the author's story. And so they started calling us in turn and introducing themselves to the board. I just rolled my eyes at it and didn't listen to anyone. I was talking to Kurama at the time. Kurama says, "How do you like Itachi-chan and Konan-chan?" I answered with an icy heart, "I don't feel anything." Rikuta-sanin came to me in my subconscious and he told me, "Naruto-kun, I am a sage of 6 ways and I came to give you my strength and my children, but you will have crazy and cold emotions, since they are permanent." "That's what your father told me then," I added. "He also talked about you to Biju." Kurama replied, "Why don't I know that? He did his best not to let you see him in a bad state." Kurama only said, "Well, how will we melt your heart?" I replied, "I do not know how, and why I have just now happened with emotions, even though it should have happened a long time ago." Kurama said, "Probably because you are a god and you have regeneration, that's what you need." I just nodded mentally. And so Sasuke Uchiha came to the blackboard and began to say, "I am Sasuke Uchiha, I love tomatoes and family, I don't like traitors, I have a hobby of eating tomatoes and punishing those who encroach on my tomatoes, my goal is to become a worthy head of the clan and find a worthy husband, my dream is to be with my sister more often." Irika said, "Very interesting, you can sit down." Sasuke went to her seat. Irika called Menma. Irika said, "Menma, come out to the board." Menma came out and began to cock. "I am Menma Namikaze, I love Sasuke-chan and family, I hate the demon, the goal is to become a Hokage and the dream is to become a Hokage too, the hobby is to approach Sasuke-chan." Irika said, "Good goal, go to the place." Menma sat down in his seat. Irika said, "Kiba Inuzuka to the board." Kiba came out and started whining, "I am Kiba Inuzuka, I like to walk with friends and my puppy Akamaru, I don't like a demon, my hobby is to play with Akamaru, the goal is to become a worthy head of the clan and the dream is the same." Irika said, "Clearly sit down." And so it went on the same way, and now it was Naruto's turn. Irika said, "Naruto Hatake, come out to the board and introduce yourself," but there was no reaction and then Irika saw that I was sleeping and he threw a place of chalk kunai at me and I didn't catch him, and Irika thought, what had I done? They would kill me, and where did kunai come from at all? He crashed into my head, and I was just sleeping. Talking to Kurama, Kurama said, "Naruto, is kunai in you?" I just said, "Imbeciles are finished." Kurama neighed. I just woke up and saw that Irika was in a panic, and the children were scared. I just opened my cold red eyes and got up, while walking to the board with a kunai in my head. And so I reached the blackboard and turned to everyone at the same time. I took out the kunai from my head and began to say, "Irika-san, I think you don't know, but this is an attack on a villager, and especially on a very important person." Irika saw that my wound had healed and said, "You're alive and well," he said with disdain. I just said, "If I kill you, nothing will happen to me, do you know?" Everyone was silent and in shock and didn't say anything. Irika asked, "And why?" I replied, "Because I am the head of the Akatsuki." Irika turned pale and bowed his knees and begged for forgiveness while saying, "Naruto, forgive me for my rudeness, this will never happen again, I completely forgot what the third one told me, please don't kill me, I beg you." Irika was crying, because his goal and dream of becoming the director of the academy had not yet come true, and I said, "Sasori." And Sasori appeared next to me, and I said, "My name is Naruto Hatake Uchiha, I love nothing, I don't like everything, hobbies are killing and torturing, there is no goal, there is no dream, I love only my subordinates and respect them, nothing else, I still love my family, perhaps everything." Sasori, take Irika to the 4th Hokage and explain everything and say that he threw kunai at me, and if he does not take measures, then I will take them. Sasori bowed on one knee and said, there is a leader herself, everything will be at its best. I just said, do it. Sasori replied, yes. And he disappeared. I said, I won't be at the academy anymore. And I added, in general, I came for a traitor, all Pokadova. I printed out my clothes and weapons. Everyone was scared and even Menma and Kiba were silent. And so Mizuki says, Demon, don't touch me, you have no proof. He said all this with a tremor in his voice. I answered. You will be detained and will end up with Hamura and Koharu in the torture chamber. I smiled with a bloodthirsty smile. I said, Haiden. Haiden arrived and bowed on one knee while saying, I obey and obey, sir. I ordered, take him to them, namely Koharu and Hamura. Haiden just nodded while grabbing Mizuki and disappeared with him. Mizuki screamed and begged for help until he disappeared, and meanwhile I left under the gazes full of fear while taking off the mask, showing them a face with a crazy smile. Everyone ran away and shouted Joker, killer. And I just left beautifully. Kurama began to say, Naruto, you clearly did everything. I replied, I'm dad here. Kurama said, tell mom that. I just turned pale and said, save and save Shinigami yourself. Shinigami from heaven, yes, say more, found when to remember me, go on. I heard it all because I am God and said, traitor. Shinigami just snorted. And so I came home and said, hello everyone. My mother came and hugged me, and my father said, you were gone for a long time. I replied, yes, it seems to have been since 5 o'clock in the morning. Mom said, not the point, go eat, it's already evening. I obeyed and went with my father, and when we washed our hands, and I still went and washed, and then I came to the kitchen and we all sat down at the table and said itadakimasu. And we began to eat. Mom cooked a lot today, and my father and I ate everything through the pain. And so I started saying, Father, I want to buy a bigger house. Kakashi replied, it wouldn't hurt, but is there money? I said, whatever and more, or rather up to dot and more. Kakashi said, that's good. Mina said, you're right, and Naruto, don't use such words in front of me. I just nodded, and Shinigami watched me and ate popcorn and neighed like a horse from me. And so I walked around the village and saw an expensive and big house, and I was glad that my mother said when we ate that she was pregnant and I would have a sister who would be called Kito, or else we would think and call her something. Kurama said, go straight and there is a house not far from the Uzumaki and Uchiha quarters and invite your parents to call her Kurama. I just laughed a crazy laugh, the other one didn't work out. Kurama said, not funny. We just snorted and I went on, as Kurama said to go straight. And so I reached my destination and saw a house and saw apparently a man who sells this house. I said, hello, are you selling this house? The seller replied, yes, I and he are worth 1 billion ri, and I also think you have enough money for him, even though you are a celebrity among all people, since they give a very round sum for your head. I just nodded and gave 1.5 billion ri and said that the house would be sold right away. The seller is O.L, and passers-by only say that the child has so much money. And when we finished with the purchase, I told my father everything and we were going to the night, and then we came to a new house and arranged furniture with my father and went to expensive stores at night and bought furniture and exchanged it. My father and I were very tired because our mother drove us to death, and we finally passed out together and we fell to the floor. Our mother could not lift us up and she herself went to bed, and we were lying in the living room on a white and black carpet. The carpet was very beautiful and expensive cubes. And now almost a week has passed and the execution of 3 people, namely Hamura, Koharu and Mizuki, has begun. And when everyone gathered, the 4th Hokage Minato Namikaze declared their guilt. All the people said to execute them quickly. Such scum should die, such words were heard from the lips of the inhabitants by the Hokage. And so we arrived at Akatsuki and everyone shut up, which Minato was glad because he had a headache and he wanted silence. People were trembling when they saw me as a joker. I just said with a malicious laugh, "Don't be afraid, we work for Konoha, and today we will torture 3 people in front of your eyes, ahaha ahaha ahaha." I neighed so that all the residents were scared, and when they heard that we were working for Konoha and they were inspired and started shouting loudly, "Torture! Torture! Torture!" The Hokage had a headache and he said to everyone, quietly, "I'm going to leave now, my head hurts a lot, the Akatsuki will hold the whole celebration." I said in the same tone, "We continue our disco and you will also choose who will torture me or my subordinate, although we are friends." And they said, "Come on, you," and then he. All the heads of the clans rejoiced at this and were ra. After all, the 2 elders very much annoyed all the clans of Konoha, from the finances for the sale of their people, who were not found anymore. And so I said again in the same tone, "The torture is declared open." I took my set of the torturer and I took a knife while thinking what kind of scissors I saw huge in my set and grinned. I told everyone, "I will torture Mizuki and kill him in the end, and then Sasori, I want him to train even better as a torturer." Everyone didn't mind. And so I took a pair of scissors and completely tore off Mizuki's clothes and saw his little pistol and I laughed crazier than before and took my huge scissors at the same time I said, according to the author, "Bugagaga." The next part is tomorrow morning or in the afternoon. If there are 10 waiting for tomorrow, I will release another part in the evening. Have a good reading of my future parts and FF. Wait and do not miss, and most importantly, write reviews and put the weight with likes. And so I took a big pair of scissors and started making chick with them, and so I said with a malicious laugh, chick and there is no pippies, there was a pistol and there is no Bugagaga. And he screamed and cried asking for help, and the residents rejoiced that he was being tortured very cruelly. Next, I called on the lightning element so that it would not pass out from shock. And so I ordered the lightning element to cauterize the wound between my legs, and then Mizuki screamed a lot, and I couldn't pass out, I knew what I was doing. And so I took a scalpel and began to cut very slowly and peel off slowly 1 layer of skin and so each layer on my left hand, then I took a fork and said calmly with a smile, "With a fork in the eye or in the ass once?" Everyone laughed. He said, screaming in pain, "In the ass once." I took activated HTRSH and called, and then formed a pole out of good Adama, and under the cries of "Come on," I shoved a 60-centimeter pole into his point, while all male people squeezed their buttocks, because that was the most terrible thing, so to speak. I already took a fork in my left hand and held the wind chakra, and I left the pole in his glasses and with a fork I planted his eye on this fork and stuck this eye there where his dignity was. Then I took off the scalpel and peeled off the skin, and the lightning element did not let him fall asleep, and so I took the pliers and started pulling out the nails. He screamed terribly, then I pulled out all the fingers slowly and at the end I said, "Chidori," and pierced his heart. I told everyone, this torture was at an average level. Well, how do you like it? Everyone was shouting, more and more. I said in a crazy voice, "Sasori." And Sasori realized what to do and began to torture his prisoner, and there were 2 of them, 2 elders. And until the evening Konoha celebrated with the heads of the clans, because on this day the most cruel people were brutally executed. This news will reach all countries. And those who studied at the academy were shocked that I was there and personally tortured myself, and did not want to see me anymore at all. They became very afraid of me, and the residents of Konoha respect me. And then the next day came, the birthday of Naruto and Menma. I left my room and went to take water treatments and then I brushed my teeth. And I thought and in the end I decided to go eat. When my mother saw me, namely at 5 o'clock in the morning, she said, "Naruto, you will eat tonight, since we will celebrate your birthday in the Hokage's house and you will be 11 years old. I replied, okay mom. And I went to change clothes and put on the traditional kimono of the Hatake clan, namely a white and black kimono. The main color was white. The kimono was very beautiful. I put on black shinobi sandals, pulled long black gloves on my hands and combed my hair, and I looked in the mirror and took off the mask, and I saw my true self. Sharp teeth, decent-sized fangs, I was beautifully scary. And so I went for a walk in Konoha, and at that time everyone was celebrating the birthday of the son of Hokage and the victory over Kubi. I was just walking, and I was recognized as a joker and asked to take off my mask by some people. I stopped being a demon because there was a rumor that I was a joker and I saved the village many times. I was recognized, but at what cost? And now I see Kushina Uzumaki and their children. I was passing by until Menma said, "Oh demon, I will kill you." And he attacked me with kunai. He stuck it in my throat, and it's good that the blood didn't stain my kimono, otherwise I would have demolished the floor of Konoha. And so I took out the kunai and everyone looked at me with fear. They wanted to come up to me and check me, but I just took out the kunai and said, "It doesn't hurt at all." And the wound immediately healed. I pressed her for a second with my hand so that the blood would not splash on the kimono, and so I said, "I am immortal, and what are you going to do now?" Menma replied, "A demon." I replied, "No, I am the god of immortality." Menma screamed and began to implicate his father, "Make me immortal or I'll call my father, he'll put you in jail." I said in a rough voice with steel and not requiring objections, "Menma Namikaze, you must treat me with respect, or else everything will fly to your father. I warned you, and I'm just going to him and then I will torture him." He himself agreed in return that I would not touch you. Kushina said at the same time. She knelt down and bowed, "Naruto, do not touch my husband and children, please." Kushina was in tears, and she scolded Menma. I replied, "Okay Kushina-san, but do something with your son or I will summon Shinigami." Kushina shook, and those who were nearby began to ask, "Please don't call Shinigami." I replied, "What has he done to annoy you that you are afraid of him?" They said, "We used to think that Shinigami is a myth and wrote everywhere Shinigami sucker and so on." I said, "Well, I think he would have taken only 100 people. Although I wouldn't let him. Shinigami from heaven, well, yes, I went to." At the same time, Shinigami was still eating popcorn. I said, "Respect people." And disappeared into Kamui while activating the VMSH. I found myself near the Hokage and said, "Did you call the Hokage yourself?" At the same time, I got down on one knee as Anbu. Hokage said, "You don't have to get up like that, and yes, I called you. Listen, you can't follow Menma for a week, I'm just scared of his relationship with Kiba." I replied, "Okay Hokage herself, but if he's gay, then I'll start writing like Jiraiya books." Hokage said, "Good." He said reluctantly. Meanwhile, I went to the store and went into the store looking for Jiraiya books. When I saw them I asked, "How much will all the vulgar Jiraiya books cost?" I read only ordinary books from Jiraiya, for example, a story about shinobi, and I read everything in short except for vulgar ones. I blurred in my thoughts, and Kurama said, "Aha, do you remember how your father almost killed you when you almost burned his book, Ika Ika?" I remembered and said, "Yes, you're right." I then overtook Guy and Lee that they were about. Lee as I run and Kakashi overtook them. He almost caught up with me, and Guy and Lee then activated the gate, Guy 7 gates, and Lee activated 5 gates. Kurama laughed, and I also laughed a little. Kurama was surprised, but didn't show it. And here the seller stands and clicks his finger near my eyes, and I said, "Stop it, I was just thinking." The bookseller replied, "Well, then here are 12 books for you, here are all the volumes at once, well, in short, all the books, and that's 50,000 ri from you." I replied, "Expensive for books." The seller said, "Women can kill him for this." I replied, "Well, yes, you're right." And so I bought the books and sealed them on my hand while starting to read the first volume. And now the evening was already beginning and my parents told me to go to the Hokage's house in the evening. I only then told them okay. And now I'm going to their house, and now I've already reached and knocked on the door. Knock knock, and Kushina opened the door to me and said, "Hello Naruto-kun, you can pass, take off your shoes and walk right down the corridor, and then you will see the bathroom yourself." I replied, "Okay Kushina-san." And while friends and relatives came to visit the birthday of the head of the family with their wives and children to the Hokage for the birthday of Menma and the son of Hitaki Kakashi for the birthday, and at that time I was sitting in the bathroom and sleeping in the water. And when Kakashi came, he asked Minato, "Minato-sensei, do you have Naruto?" Minato replied, "I think so." I replied, "It's clear, so Naruto has fallen asleep somewhere in your house." Minato laughed and replied, "Let's go look for it." Kakashi said, "Send." And while they were looking for me, I already got dressed and came out of the bathroom and started looking for the kitchen, and as a result I hid my presence and went into some kind of nursery. I ordered Akatsuki to appear near me, with the help of. And in the room I took first place 6 times in a row, and Kakuzu took second place 6 times in a row, and in the end I won 1 billion ri, Kakuzu won 500 million ri, Nagato was the judge with Konan, since we played without dojutsu, and Nagato Rinnegan, and Sasori took third place, he won 5 million ri, the fourth place was taken by Kisame, who played for the second time in his life and he won 1 million ri, and the fifth place was taken by Kakashi, he did not win or lose anything, and the rest were in the red. And Kakuzu said with a smile, "Naruto, maybe you will give all the money to me, and I will put it in our bank." I replied, "Okay, I'll do it, then you'll take them to our bank at the base." And Kakuzu added, "Naruto, let's go to the casino later, it's just that I played alone and played only one, and those who play alone are few of them, everyone mostly plays 2 players and, for example, 3 teams and 2 people in each team." I replied, "Okay, Kakuzu, we'll raise the loot." And so Itachi runs into the room and saw Kakashi and started talking angrily, "Kakashi-san, when you disappeared, Minato was looking for you around the house for a long time, and I replied that I would bring you now, and you are also playing in the casino, go to the table quickly, everyone." And Itachi added, "Kakashi and Naruto, I'll tell Mina-san everything." And my father and I were scared. And the Akatsuki only laughed loudly. And Konan said, "Itachi, I didn't play cards, I just watched and the fool among them with the bankruptcy of this Deidara." Itachi said, "Konan's gone and they need to be picked up." Waving Itachi's head in the direction of the guys. Konan replied, "I agree with you, Itachi." And everyone laughed at Deidara, because he got on. Author's opinion, how do you like this part? If you liked the plot, then leave Zdunov and in the evening I will release a sequel. Thank you all for reading and have a good reading of the following FF and parts. The end of the author's story. And when we all came to the kitchen, everyone was shocked that the Akatsuki gang was assembled. Today Naruto and Menma turn 11 years old. Kushina said. And so everyone started celebrating and giving gifts. Kakuzu gave me my 1 billion ri, and the rest gave me another gift together, namely they gave me 2 flowers from each, and I asked, "What was that right now?" They replied, "Since it's your birthday, we give you 2 flowers from each." I said, "They give so much for funerals." They replied, "But Haydn said otherwise." I said, "Okay, I don't really like holidays, I think I'll go." Nagato and Mikoto asked, "Where are you going today, is your birthday?" I answered calmly, "I don't care about the holidays, I live like a weapon, but I have to like a god." Mikoto replied, "Who said that?" She asked with interest. I replied, every shinobi is a tool under someone's power, right Hokage herself? Minato hesitated and replied, yes, you're right, but... Minato didn't have time to finish as I said, you all heard, I went to justify my nickname, I'll come when the shinobi war starts, and that's in 7 years, I think. Hokage replied, yes, that's right. I said goodbye to everyone and disappeared into Kamui into the very hell. Mina cried into Kakashi's shoulder, and Kakashi stroked her on the head while telling everyone, Naruto will come when the war starts and he will end it, and then return to the normal life of the head of the Akatsuki. Itachi told himself that she would confess her feelings to Naruto when he came. Konan also promised herself that. Everyone continued to celebrate, and Akatsuki disappeared to the base. Nagato told everyone at the base, while there is no Naruto, I will replace him. Without further ado, everyone disperse, we work from Monday to Friday. Everyone said, there is a deputy herself, and so Naruto returns when he was already 18 years old, but in fact he was already very old in soul, if there was one at all, and so I recovered my emotions, and returned home. I began to pass the gates of the village of List, as Katetsu asked, stand who goes? I replied, I am Naruto Hatake. The guards were shocked and took me to the Hokage. Everyone who saw me of the female sex just flowed, and the men looked at me with envy, and here I am standing in front of the Hokage. Hokage asked, are you Naruto? I replied, yes, Hokage-sama, when is the war? Hokage replied, it starts tomorrow. I replied, good, and without unnecessary questions. Hokage only said, the United Shinobi Army will be there tomorrow afternoon. Showed the Hokage on the map. I nodded and disappeared. I appeared at home and saw my mother. When she saw me, she hugged me, and my father also hugged me and were glad that I came, but I got 100 blows with a pan, it hurt, and I said, Father, there will be no war tomorrow afternoon, they will all die. Kakashi O.L. from this statement and asked how? I replied, I will kill them with the technique of purgatory of hell. The essence of this technique is instant death, those who deserve it will die. Kakashi replied, okay, be careful. I nodded. And so I went to bed. Before that I said, Father and Mother, I think I'll go wait for them there right now, and then I'll come back and kill everyone. Kakashi laughed and replied, you have returned emotions and speak in pathos. Good luck to you, we will wait. Mina said, tomorrow after lunch, just try to come. I just nodded and disappeared into Kamui. And then the next day came, and when the whole shinobi army gathered, I flew up and said with a chakra in my voice, to strengthen the voice, so let's say, those who survive return to the village and stop the wars or you will know the true pain. And so they started shaking because a monstrous energy was coming from me, and I said, purgatory of hellfire. Go to hell. And everyone immediately evaporated into ashes, and Shinigami got fatter by 100,000 kilograms somewhere. I laughed, and there were only 10,000 shinobi left from 300,000. And I told them, run to your villages before I change my mind. And everyone ran away with their asses tucked up, and now the shinobi war has passed. It will be remembered for a long time, because there was also a huge monument there. This monument was erected by people, namely the monument was me. I only strengthened it when I saw it, and this story was nicknamed, The Life of an Immortal God. And so I married Itachi and Konan, and Sasuke while I was sleeping like a dead man after that technique in general raped me, and she got pregnant the very first and I had to marry her. And so I had a huge palace, and under the palace there was an Akatsuki base. I moved it again, and Konoha recognized me as an immortal god. I had 3 children and their names were Madara with black hair, Sakuma with white hair and Hashirama with brown hair. I trained and trained them, because I will lay a burden on them in the form of my inheritance, namely, I divided the land into 3 territories and will give each of my sons to follow them. That's how Naruto's life ends. That's the end of it.